bring it back to Trump's meeting. Trump is scheduled for a summit with Xi Jinping in China. This has been long awaited. We'll see what actually comes of it in practice. But essentially, since there was a set of meetings culminating in one in Geneva late last year between U.S. and Chinese trade negotiators, and it led to a kind of truce, a trade truce between the U.S. and China. The one aspect of that of critical importance was China basically agreed to continue to export rare earth permanent magnets to the United States, something the U.S. is completely dependent on China for. And the U.S. in turn agreed to export certain semiconductors and chips required for AI, particularly, some of which can be used for military applications as well. And this was the kind of truce that was brokered in Geneva, which seems to have held until this meeting. Let's see what happens after this. Yeah. And whether I think what everyone's looking out for is what, if any, concessions does the United States make? One of the things to observe is that China has so far not really taken any steps to scale back on any issue that matters to the U.S. China is still operating in a very competitive mode, whether it is criticizing the Prime Minister of Japan for statements that she made on Taiwan, which actually helped her electorally, or whether, again, it is economic issues and sort of the weaponization of some of its supply chain. So I think that's going to be something to observe. The concern in India is actually twofold. One is, again, what, if any, concessions the United States make. But I think it speaks to a broader issue, a concern in India of what's called a G2. That is, when if the U.S. and China decide to get together and sort of carve up the world between them and determine the sort of rules of the road for most global issues, and basically tells everybody else, India, Europe, Japan, everyone else, to fall in line. That is something that India is very concerned about. Right. I do not think it will happen, again, because for the reasons I mentioned, I don't think we see China stepping back from a competitive mode. But at most, we may see a sort of temporary truce that extends over the rest of this year. Xi Jinping is expected to make a return visit to the United States at the end of the year for the G20 summit in Miami. So I think I would look for like what kind of tactical truce is brokered over the next year.